return of Rayni Williams. All hail the queen.
I love your title.
You had some major sales this week, and I didn't know if we could talk about them, but this sale of the Beverly Hills mansion at Hillcrest?
Yes.
What happened with this sale? I know it was on the market for a while, and then you and Brandon brought it over the finish line. What can you tell us?
Well, I can tell you whatever you want to know. What do you want to know about it?
Well, this property is a good segue into the next property because you actually rebranded it back in July, and you gave it a different look. Do you feel like that helped sell the property?
You know, I think it's like rebranding is like fashion. It's always being updated. And I feel like rebranding is always bringing fresh energy. And, you know, I love energy, and I feel that energy creates more. And it's a really important aspect of selling homes. That's why you'll go into a home that isn't selling and it feels like the energy feels stale or bad energy, as they say, that maybe like a sad home or a divorce or like somewhere where someone died. The reason why sometimes energy collects in these, and it becomes in the fabric of the property. So switching things up can really.
And that makes sense because you also switched it up for 1010 Hillcrest, which we're going to get into. But this sale, how important was it for you to sell this house? Because you did have the listing for a while, and I remember you saying you're going to sell this house no matter what.
It was because it was a really hard sale, and it was hard for a multitude of reasons. But at the end, I feel like all of our hard work paid off. And I used to say to you, I don't know what lesson I have with this property, but there's a lesson behind it for me, because it was a property where I brought a lot of offers to the seller and he wouldn't take them. That's very frustrating. And then to end up selling it for less than the offers that you brought is very frustrating. And then 2 weeks before my buyer bought it, because I double-ended this, it fell out of escrow.
That's incredible. You double-ended that. That's insane.
But prior, it fell out. I mean, I lost years of my life because
I have gray hair. This is all fake hair right now.
Yeah.
But you double-ended it. Don't you feel like it happened for a reason then?
Everything happens for a reason. There's no mistake. There's no accidents. You know, this life that we're doing here, it's all purposeful. There's either a lesson, and if you don't learn the lesson, you get to repeat. And I don't know exactly the lesson behind this, except it was perseverance. And I think you even told me that, because I'm sad when it fell out 2 weeks prior. So sad. And I said, I don't know what the lesson is in this deal. Like, why is it so transact on this property? But if you're an agent and you never give up, you will succeed, and you will transact, and you will fail if you stick to it. You know, God willing, you can keep the listing. I mean, I had this listing for almost 3 years.
Exactly. But the perseverance on this, I remember it would fall out and I would say, you just keep going. You keep going. And then in the end, you double end both sides. So like there had to be a patience lesson. I love that you saying that, because a lot of agents out there right now need patience. But
my grandmother was an Italian Martha Stewart from Italy.
Yes.
Like, she was in fashion. And she wasn't super like warm and fuzzy. This particular Nona, I had two. One was like the loving Italian Nona, and this one was the chic Italian Nona that really smoked long cigarettes, and she wore beautiful French twists and caftans, and she was very over the top and chic. But her Christmas and her holidays were like the best of the best. And even like to this day, I still feel like going into her home with the crispy snow and like the beautiful, it was just incredible. And the food that was all, you know, homemade, and like that feeling I still get as an adult. And I still love Christmas for that reason. And my birthday's the day before, because Christmas Eve, and we always had like, you know, special meals. So there's an Italian meal that we eat on Christmas Eve, which is fish, and something called banya calda, which is like this amazing
Do
garlic.
you
And
and do you do those pass that
yes,
down to your children now?
yeah, and I do a very big Christmas Eve party every year. You know, this year it's
Mm.
going to look different, but I'm still going to do it, and
I
even if
love you
it's
do
just
that
for my family.
so much. And go look at 1010 Hillcrest, which is the John Elgin Wolfe design that you redid. So first of all, here's the exterior of the house, and I know this house is so important to you because it's the crown jewel of Trousdale.
Yeah.
But you recently redid it. So I'm going to show you before of the living room.
Okay.
And you tell me what you saw needed to be redone.
Going back to the theory about energy and rebranding is ever present in this theory, right? You have to create energy. And this home was done by Donna Livingston. They were the second people to own it. Norman Perlmutter and Donna Livingston, who's a very famous designer, really talented. She was married to Norm Perlmutter and they owned it. And they bought it off of Mr. and Mrs. Trousdale. And Donna did a killer job. The woodwork, everything that you see in this house that you're showing is impeccable, okay? But when the market's not responding to it because times have changed and because looks have lightened and freshened, then you have to pivot. And we tried it out. We actually brought a really great offer to this property, and the seller wasn't willing to take it when we brought it. So we said, listen, this is a huge asset for you. This is a big investment. Why don't we invest some money into recreating the look? And that's what we did. So what we did was we took a note out of Ellen DeGeneres' book, let's just say, for an example. Okay. Ellen DeGeneres had a gorgeous John Wolfe up the street on Maytor, which is it was a very famous house because it was like this jewel box, this little tiny under 4,000 square feet, I think. It's like 3,800 feet.
In Trousdale. In
Trousdale, on Maytor Place, next to Hedy Slimaine's, the house that I have. Hedy Slimane is the designer of Saint Laurent. Was the designer of Saint Laurent. And that right next to that was Ellen's house. She did this woodwork in a beautiful white. In all of the homes that Ellen and Portia do, they do this sort of fresh aesthetic on an old home. Mm-hmm. So we took a note in that book, and we took a note from her rule book, and we convinced the seller, there you go, voila, to lighten it up and to spend a little money in the investment. So
it looks incredible.
Yeah.
It looks like an entirely different home, and the light really bounces off the walls now because they're white. Yeah. You almost see more of the molding.
Yeah.
But you also replaced all the furniture. Why did you decide to do that as well?
The same thing. It's kind of like the juxtaposition of modern with Hollywood Regency. In this case, John Elgin Wolfe was known as the godfather of Hollywood Regency. So some people love Hollywood Regency. Some people don't respond to it. But everybody responds to fresh, interesting, different. And I think that was kind of what happened to the Los Angeles luxury market, was it became very homogenized. And every house was starting to look like a white drywall modern box. And so when you see something different, like an Artie Tavengarian or like an Osclo, you're just like, wow.
Incredible. The comment section is freaking out. They're mind blown. Wow. I love how you kept the brass brackets as well. Here's some more before shots. Here's the dining room before. Look at those heavy curtains, that heavy table. And then here's the after with actually, this is the study.
That's the study. Mm-hmm.
This is the study.
That's the study.
But again, you lighten it up by using furniture with glass that you can actually see through.
And we
Here's
took
the dining room. There's
the dining, which we kept that gorgeous light fixture, which is a Fornasetti, beautiful Italian light fixture. It's hand-blown glass. And then we just, we lightened the walls. And we got the seller to just understand that sometimes you have to spend money to make money. And in this case, it's going to come back to him tenfold, because this is allowing the visual, which, you know, buyers walk into homes and they need to do a couple of things. They need to do, number one, they need to be able to see themselves living there.
Mm-hmm.
And then number two, they need to be able to visually be stimulated.
Yes.
And that's why staging is such a big business, because staging, it's like smoke and mirrors, but it allows visually for the buyer to have the experience, which creates emotion and then triggers them to want to buy it.
Is there a reason that you just zoned in on the main living areas? I can see you didn't do the outside. You know
what we did, Alex? We painted the outside white, the brick.
Oh my God, I don't have a picture of that. Not this front brick.
That's it. That's painted. It was a gray.
Oh my God, you're so right.
And John
Here
Wolfe,
you can see it in the before.
Yeah, we lightened it up.
And they lightened up the house.
You see that roof? That is the Mansour roof, and that's the famous John Elgin Wolfe roof. That it was famous in the Hollywood Regency. And you have to go with that, So adding the light and creating the chic black and white, that kind of just really changed everything as much as you can.
You also dropped the price a little bit. It was listed in this article back in the day. It was listed for around $31 million. So I'm gonna have the audience guess the price and see. So you gave it a fresh look, a new price, a new story to tell, and has that increased the showings? Audience, you can guess the new price for this incredible John Elgin Wolfe. Rayni, what has it done for you showing wise? Because you relisted it recently, no?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pricing is everything in this market. And anybody that's selling a lot in this market, like we are, will attest to that. I mean, pricing is everything. If you're overpriced slightly, it really affects you. Because people are hesitant to spend money right now. It's an interesting time where the stock market's doing really well and secondary markets are doing very well. So LA can be a secondary market for somebody, and the stock market, they might be making a ton of money in the stock market and want to repurpose that money into a tangible asset like real estate. So these are two wins for us in this luxury market. But people can't travel or aren't traveling really. So we've lost our foreign buyers. So we're relying on our locals. And there are a few people that are traveling here and there. But for the most part, 60% of our market was driven by foreign buyers.
Interesting. 60% of the market was driven by foreign buyers. I love that stat. We've got two guesses. David I. Jamira says 28.5 million and Peds 93 says 29.9 million. Rayni, what's the new price of 1010 Hillcrest Road?
29.9. 29.95. 29.9, yeah.
29.9.
P-Lads got it. P-Lads 93, right?
Heads 93, yes. For this architectural masterpiece done by two significant people on a flat piece of the best lot in Trousdale. Rayni, take us over to your, somebody dropped off a gift for you to open.
Yeah, it almost didn't make it. My kids tried to open it, but I stopped them.
We'll put it in a boring box next time. We're gonna, we thought this would be good for you because I noticed when I was at your house, you guys have a lot of books by your bedside table. Do you read before you go to bed? I
do. I love to read.
Okay, great. Well, this was a book that I thought would speak to you.
Okay. Thank you for my beautiful card, Rayni. We love our queen.
It's the queen of Trousdale.
So funny. My daughter was like, you're the queen of Trousdale, my 6-year-old. I was like, thank you, Alexander.
She is the queen of Trousdale. I didn't say that. All the magazines said that. And then you have so much. Oh yeah, that's from my garland. Always put a sprig on a gift, people.
Oh my gosh, I love Jay Shetty.
I love Jay Shetty. Think like a monk.
Thank you so much. I love Jay Shetty. He's amazing.
He's amazing. It's his new book, and it was speaking to me when I just downloaded the sample, so I had to order it.
I love it. Thank you. I will dig into this.
Yeah, put it by your bedside, and then Brandon will try and steal it.
Yeah.
So, Rayni, I want to thank you for coming back and telling us about those properties. I know you have a lot to announce in the next month, but December 22nd is going to be your birthday show. We can't wait to celebrate with you. We love you so much, and thank you for coming back to the show.
Of course. Thank you for having me. I love you guys.
Love you. Bye, Rayni.
Bye.